And that, class, is precisely why humans are strictly barred from all cosmic-scale combat, announced Professor Vrall as he hovered behind his tripodium. His 7 slender eye stalks quivered for dramatic effect. Several students in the amphitheater exchanged worried glances, or, in the case of the blob-like species present, merged and unmerged in confusion. One particularly squishy being, a bright turquoise goop known as Slaro, raised a wobbly tentacle. But, Professor Vrall, aren't humans banned because they're, puny and still rely on outdated technology? I heard they only discovered faster-than-light travel a few centuries ago. A smaller, hawk-like student named Chiri perched on the edge of her seat. Are they weak, or are they secretly dangerous? Which is it? Professor Vrall gave a resigned sigh, like a balloon deflating. Ah, Chiri, it's complicated. Complicated how, Professor? Insisted Chiri. Vrall's eyes darted left and right, as though checking for eavesdroppers. I suppose you're all old enough to learn the true reason humans are off-limits in warfare. It traces back to the Vorim conflict of the year 4562. A hush settled over the class. Some students literally froze in place, others jiggled nervously. The older ones had heard rumors about the Vorim conflict, but never from a credible source. The Varinians, Vrall went on, in their grand arrogance, decided to hire a few humans as foot soldiers, merely to distract the enemy. Cannon fodder, they called them. The professor made a grim clicking sound. They soon discovered that humans were innovative in ways no one predicted. Slaro's goo quivered. Innovative, like did they get vaporized in a more impressive way? If only, Vrall said softly. No. They didn't just fight. They reinvented the entire notion of war. And that redefinition changed the universe forever. Chiri leaned forward. Reinvented how? Professor Vrall twirled one of his eye stalks. Humans have this quaint concept called war crimes. While most species battle until one side surrenders or can't stand, humans actually made rules about what was too cruel to do in war. That sounds almost nice, offered Chiri. Nice? Vrall barked out a laugh that echoed weirdly in the curved hall. Oh, no, my dear. They made a list of what they wouldn't do. And then they proceeded to do everything else imaginable. A collective shudder went through the room. A few psychic amoebas actually switched colors in shock. They took one look at our standard plasma spears and said, decent toy, but watch this. 2 cycles later, they were weaponizing black holes. Inventing new ways to break physics. They called it thinking outside the box. We call it, well, mass cosmic lunacy. Chiri fluffed her feathers. But Professor Vrall, how do you even weaponize a black hole? They had a device they nicknamed the launch fling, though some translators say it was called a yeet cannon, which might literally mean a war crime in their old tongue. Regardless, they used it to hurl miniature black holes like slingshot bullets. Suddenly, entire fleets were gone in a blink. The Varinians realized their cannon fodder was turning the tide of battle for them, but it was also scaring them half to death. An audible gasp rang out, so loud it caused the anti-gravity lights overhead to flicker. After the war, Vrall continued, everyone begged the humans to stay far away from future conflicts. For the good of all sapient life. Slaro raised a shaky pseudopod. But they're stuck on their homeworld now, yeah? They can't do that kind of damage anymore? Professor Vrall made a hollow, rasping chuckle. Stuck? They agreed to remain on their planet, for a while. Said something about taking a break to binge-watch a massive library of hyperflicks. I don't know what that is, but they seemed oddly enthusiastic about it. And the rest of the universe quietly breathed a sigh of relief. He leaned forward, eye stalks trembling in final emphasis. So the next time someone says humans are banned from cosmic warfare because they're weak, you remember this, we don't ban them. We pleaded with them. And if they ever get bored again, may the cosmos have mercy on us all. Class ended on that grim note. The students filed out in stunned silence, Chiri included. Professor Vrall sank into his hover chair, rubbing his cranial ridges. He could only hope he hadn't just inspired a new wave of curious aliens to do something reckless. Then his holocom pinged. Incoming transmission from Earth, droned the desk panel. Vrul froze. All 7 hearts pounded uncomfortably. He pressed accept with a trembling tentacle, and a human face appeared on screen, Commander Rydell, a grin spreading from ear to ear. "Hey there, Prof. Long time no see," Rydell greeted. "How can I help you, Commander?" Vrul stammered. "Just checking on my favorite xenodiplomacy instructor," Rydell said with a mischievous twinkle. "Heard you've been telling war stories about us. Figured I'd say hi, make sure you didn't leave out the juiciest bits." Vrul felt all moisture drain from his pores. "How did you know?" "Oh, come on. You do realize we installed that surveillance array for you, right? Purely human-made. We love our little pranks." Vrul swallowed. "All this time, we thought we were monitoring you. But you've been monitoring us?" Rydell only shrugged. "It's not like we're aiming to conquer the galaxy. Honestly, that's too much paperwork, and we've got enough going on at home, terraforming Mars, building ring stations around our gas giants, that sort of thing." Professor Vrul exhaled shakily. "So you're staying put?" "For now," said the commander. "But we might show up at the Interstellar Council meeting soon. Just to see how everyone's doing." "Commander, please, you know humans are under the official ban." "Relax, Prof," Rydell cut in with that unsettling grin. "We're not fighting. We're just showing up as primitive allies. Didn't your records label us that?" "Don't worry." The grin widened. "We'll be on our best behavior." The screen went blank, leaving Vrul with a creeping sense of dread. Humans on the Interstellar Council's biggest stage, what could possibly go wrong? 3 standard cycles later, Professor Vrul was in the soaring halls of the Interstellar Council headquarters. Chiri, now his assistant, flitted nervously beside him. "Professor," she whispered, "are they really here?" Before he could answer, the massive bronze doors parted. In strode the human delegation, led, of course, by Commander Rydell. They wore casual diplomatic attire and looked far too relaxed. A spider-like diplomat, Skekshal, clattered forward. "Welcome, humans. We are humbled by your presence." Rydell's grin somehow became even brighter. "Hey, nice place you've got. Very celestial." Vrul felt the eyes of every species in the council hall upon them. Was the entire galaxy about to unravel? The last time humans joined anything, they built a black hole generator in record time just to see if they could. The spider diplomat continued timidly, "Let us proceed with formal negotiations." "Actually," Rydell announced, voice echoing, "we've got a proposal." The entire assembly collectively leaned in. Vrul shut his eyes, bracing for demands about new weapons or star systems. "We want to join your galactic games," Rydell declared. "You know, those big sporting competitions you hold every decade? We've got some new events to spice things up." Chaos broke out. Some delegates fainted, others screeched. A living crystal entity had a meltdown, literally, while the council president nearly unplugged the entire microphone system. "That's impossible," squeaked an insectoid ambassador. "You humans can't, it's far too dangerous, our sports are." "Relax," Rydell said with a wink. "We've been practicing. We even brought a little demonstration." A hologram popped up in the center of the chamber, showing a human in a sleek spacesuit clinging to a swirling black hole's event horizon. Chiri gasped so hard she fell off her perch. "They're riding a black hole?" "Cosmic surfing," Rydell explained. "First competitor to ride the event horizon without getting spaghettified wins." A stunned silence gripped the hall. Then the yelling started again, only louder. Hours later, after frantic debates and at least 4 separate translator malfunctions, the council teetered on the brink of meltdown. Over and over, Vrul overheard delegates say things like, "We have no choice. Perhaps we surrender now to preempt cosmic-level sporting disasters." By that point, Diplomat Jora, the silver-haired, no-nonsense human official, had taken charge, calmly addressing the swirling chaos. Vrul watched in astonishment as Jorah diffused crisis after crisis with polite efficiency. Then a booming, multi-voiced alien, Causath of the Hydra Collective, slithered into the center. Humans! We challenge you. If we defeat you in these new events, you agree to scale back your excesses. Rydell arched a brow. And if we win? Name your price, the Hydra rumbled. The entire hall went still. Would the humans demand Starlane control? Advanced technology rights? Rydell gave that trademark grin. If we win, you host the next intergalactic barbecue cook-off. Silence. And then the strangest uproar of all, confusion. Cook-off, repeated Causath, tentacles twitching. As in, preparing food? Exactly. Rydell said. Massive potluck. We'll bring recipes from Earth and beyond. Everyone's invited, flesh-eaters, photosynthesizers, silicon-based munchers, whatever. We can rig up grills for every atmospheric requirement. It'll be a universe-sized feast. You're sure that's all you want? Stammered a three-eyed amphibian. Trust me, Rydell winked. We humans take our food very seriously. Despite their bafflement, species began warming to the idea. Even the council president, still trembling from the earlier shock, managed a weak smile. The conversation shifted from battle lines to marinade recipes, from planetary defenses to how best to garnish cosmic shrimp. Professor Vrul, observing all this, found a bubble of laughter escaping him. Just that morning, the galaxy had been on the edge of another war scare. Now, everyone was excitedly discussing an intergalactic barbecue. Strange times indeed. Soon, Vrul was roped into the Xenobiological Dietary Concerns Subcommittee. Chiri flipped through holographic charts listing hundreds of species with unique digestive quirks. All right, she muttered, the ammonia breathers from Hexa 9 can't be near open flames. The plasma-based folks from the ion field can't have liquids. And the telepathic polyps have a strict rule against strobe lights while they dine. Meanwhile, Rydell could be heard across the chamber chatting with energy beings who looked like neon clouds. We can figure out how to grill in a vacuum, I promise. We'll just tweak the thermodynamics a bit. Maybe blast it with a few gamma rays for extra flavor. Diplomat Jorah was simultaneously negotiating with a star whale about bringing the finest cosmic algae for dessert. It was surreal, but it worked. By day's end, representatives who previously wouldn't make eye contact were discussing sauces, spices, and the possibility of zero-G stir-frying. Even the once hostile Hydra Collective seemed genuinely curious about Earth's smoking techniques and brining methods. Professor Vrul couldn't believe it. I have to admit, he told Chiri softly, the humans have somehow turned a near-diplomatic breakdown into a celebration. Chiri chirped happily, ruffling her feathers. Maybe that's their real power, Professor. They get everyone so focused on new experiences, like cosmic sports or cross-species cuisine, that we forget to be afraid. Vrul nodded, feeling a cautious glow of hope. Perhaps the galaxy truly needed a little human unpredictability. Amidst the flurry of planning, Commander Rydell pulled Vrul and Chiri aside. "Wanna see something cool?" They followed him through a maze of corridors to a massive hangar. Gleaming starships of every shape and size lined the polished floor. At the center stood a craft that resembled an old Earth muscle car, with cosmic thrusters and a neon underglow. "This is the SS Blaze Runner," Rydell said proudly, patting its hull. Powered by quantum improbability and a dash of sheer nerve. 0 to light speed in 4 seconds. We even installed a sound system that can blast music across subspace. Before Vrul could protest, Rydell pressed a button. The ship roared to life with ancient Earth rock music, so loud that a row of stealth drones beeped in alarm. Chiri's beak fell open. "Is that legal?" Rydell laughed. "Probably not. But hey, that's never stopped us before." Vrul could only shake his head. Humans, and their unstoppable flair for chaos. Yet it was precisely this chaos that had the galaxy buzzing about black hole surfing and barbecue cook-offs instead of war. A few days later, as final details for the grand barbecue were hammered out, Professor Vrul found himself surprisingly excited. He'd spent his life studying alien conflicts, the horror of arms races, the fragile peace treaties. Now, thanks to humans, the entire cosmic community was preparing for an event that was part friendly rivalry, part cultural festival, and part culinary extravaganza. He spotted diplomat Jorah giving last-minute instructions. The bioluminescent reefs from Okean Belt would handle lighting. The chronoscribes from Tembu V offered to retrieve extinct plant seeds for historical recipes. The Void Dwellers contributed dark matter, chocolate desserts. Every corner of the galaxy had a role. Off to the side, Commander Rydell was arm wrestling a tentacled champion. The stakes? A vow to host the dessert portion of the event on a high-gravity world to create the ultimate layered cake. Cheers erupted from watchers of 50 different species as the two combatants locked limbs. Cheery fluttered up beside Vrul and sighed happily. I never thought I'd see so many species in one place without a single plasma weapon drawn. Me neither, Vrul admitted. But that's the humans for you. They redefined warfare, and now they're redefining peace. Just then, Rydell whooped in victory. The delegates roared, and a giant scoreboard flickered with cosmic fireworks. The Interstellar Council had never been so alive. Vrul folded his tentacles in a rare moment of contentment. Perhaps the universe would always be wary of humans, and with good reason. They broke rules, laws of physics, and comfort zones. But they also broke down barriers and turned potential rivals into potluck partners. The galaxy's future now looked both terrifying and hilarious, dangerous and delicious. And Professor Vrul wouldn't have it any other way. Because, as every new convert to the cosmic barbecue discovered, why wage war when you can trade recipes? Why conquer galaxies when you can surf black holes? And why fear tomorrow when humans are already dreaming up the next impossible, and slightly ridiculous, invention? In the end, Vrul decided the greatest weapon of humanity wasn't black hole bombs or quantum cannons. It was their boundless ability to make the rest of the universe say, wait, they're doing what now? And with that, the age of humanity had truly begun. May the cosmos have mercy on us all. And don't forget the secret sauce.